is a beautiful September 1st, 2022. September is one of my favorite months of the year. Usually means cooler weather is coming, refreshing nights. How I yearn for that after this hot, stuffy summer. But today we're going to take a trip to Atlantic City on New Jersey Transit rail vehicles. First, we're going to ride from here to Trenton, New Jersey on train number 3823, track 1. Yeah, we got a DP and a brace of Comet 4s that I can ride on. New York to Atlantic City via New Jersey Transit rail vehicles for a senior rock bottom price of $11.65. What a bargain. Okay, we've emerged from the tunnel, heading to the Jersey marshes here, with the New Jersey Turnpike Eastern Spur in the distance. Today I'm trying out my new iPhone window adapter with the suction cup. See how that works. Gets a little taxing on my muscles holding the camera for extended periods, so we'll see how this does. So it's a beautiful day, warm, less humid. Gonna head down to Atlantic City today, have lunch, walk on a boardwalk, ride this train to Trenton, and then the river line from Trenton to Pennsauken Transportation Center, or get on Atlantic City line there to head to Atlantic City. Paralleling the New Jersey Turnpike, coming into Secaucus. Over Croxton Yard of the Norfolk Southern. I'm not going to record the entire trip, just the highlights of it. Rough riding on these Comet 4s. Departing Secaucus, it's kind of nice. I just sit back and talk, keep my hands at my side. Pennsauken River and the end of the foot, Mortal Drawbridge.
The next station is Newark Penn Station. When leaving the train, please watch the gap.
I'm sitting on this side because the sun angle is more favorable. Morristown line. There's a phase gap in it to go from 12.5 kilovolts to 25 kilovolts. Electric locomotive powertrains can handle that voltage changeover. The Arrow MUs cannot. And there's the Morristown line there, the old Lackawanna. Tower. Catching up to a path train heading for Newark, Penn. Path station.
This station stop is Newark, Penn Station. When leaving the train, please watch the gap.
Pennsauken River passing over the Dock Drawbridge. Arriving track 4. Valley Line train 5415 alongside of us on 5. CNJ line that came out of Market Street Station was discontinued in '66. Road paralleling us is McCarter Highway.
Airport next. Keep this, you need that to get in the airport. Yeah.
to be. For the Raritan Valley Line trains. They connect with the old Lehigh Valley, now the Conrail shared assets used by NS and CSX. Stopping at the expensive Newark Airport station. Just to go to this station will cost you a fortune. And we'll cover the non-stop run from Newark Airport to Rahway, and then we'll stop. Elizabeth Station. And right down below us, you see the old C&J station. That was the old Royal Blue Route out of Jersey City Terminal. It ended with the Aldine plan in 1966. They still ran trains, though, between Bayonne and Cranford. They ran an RDC shuttle. Some through trains to Raritan ran out of Bayonne. Going through Elmore and Interlocking. You'll see Track B come out on the right. B is used by local trains that make the Linden stop, but if you don't make the Linden stop, there's no need to use it. You go straight in on 4. The railway has a platform for B and 4. Linden only for B. Of course, at Linden, the New York bound platform is track A. Railway has a platform for tracks A and 1. Actually, only for A. B&O Bridge we passed under. We left New York about almost 10 minutes late. He's trying to make up some of that time. Past over Wood Avenue, this is Linden Station. In the former side of North Railway Station. Jersey Avenue, Maine, you get to see county interlocking and the Millstone branch that serves the branch station of Jersey Avenue. Is county interlocking. There's the Millstone branch going off where you see an Arrow MU sitting in the branch station, and we're stopping on the main station. There's no New York-bound Jersey Avenue main station, but I think they're in the process of building one. All right, departing Jersey Avenue, Maine. Our next stop is Princeton Junction, about 14 miles away. Here we're going to accelerate up to triple-digit speeds. I think the maximum speed for New Jersey Transit on this is a 100. Definitely some freight business on this line, served by Conrail Shared Assets. Considerable cause of scrap metal over there. Freight goes considerable distance, serving multiple industries here. I must admit, I miss certain things sitting on the left-hand side of the train. I don't think they run anything down this far. I see a lot of small trees growing up between the rails. Gorgeous day today, low humidity. Should be a nice couple of days. We've had really impressive weather lately. By this time of the summer, I've had it with the heat and the humidity. It's prevented me from going out and rail fanning. I just never felt like it. September's here. Hopefully some refreshing weather will come, and I can get out more and enjoy trackside scenery. But today I definitely felt in the mood for doing some lengthy boardwalk walking. Cruising until we get into Princeton Junction, our next stop. It's 9:05. 45 was slowing down for the Princeton Junction stop. You'll get to see the spur for Princeton on the right. Hopefully you'll see the dinky train sitting there. Usually a couple of Arrow MUs. The PJ&B is what the dinky's referred to. Princeton Junction and back. That fenced area is where they store the equipment for the dinky at night. Yeah, the dinky's coming in. You can see him in the distance rounding the bend. New Brunswick and Princeton Junction serve a very high academic percentage of business. New Brunswick with Rutgers University and Princeton Junction with Princeton University. Okay, it's 9:15 and we're approaching Trenton. Our last stop. Here I'll get off and do a little rail fanning and walk over and catch the river line down to Pennsauken. Work train there. Trainload of concrete ties. I'm not sure, but I think that track on the right coming in is the old PRR branch to Belvedere, New Jersey. Should note that the mileposts on this line are not measured from Penn Station, New York. They're measured from Exchange Place in Jersey City. That's the originating point of the old broker that ran from Exchange Place to Bayhead on the North Jersey coast. That was the crack express train that ran on the North Jersey coast. It was a rush hour train. You can see catenary supports laying there that are going to be installed. This open area on the right used to be a Pennsylvania Railroad freight yard. Tons of huge freight yards along the Northeast Corridor years ago, as well as the Keystone Corridor, but they're all gone. Freight has been rerouted off of this line to former Lehigh Valley and Reading Company routes to Harrisburg, and via Hagerstown, Maryland. Yeah, look at all this vacant expanse here. I remember it years ago. Lots of yard tracks for freight. It appears we're going to switch all the way over to 1 at Fair Interlocking, Trenton. Catenary pole 56. measures the mileage from Exchange Place, Jersey City. You can see tracks 4, 3, and 2 nearest to me. We're on 1. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the way the engine is being run, but trains of Comet 4s and 5s always seem to just rattle back and forth like the old P-54 cars on Long Island. They call them ping pong cars because they bounce back and forth. Slack action is pretty noticeable. Well, we passed a Keystone train there, just left Trenton. Right from Harrisburg to New York with one of those former Metroliner cab cars that Ghost Engineer loves operating from so much. Not. Fair interlocking arriving into Trenton. This is where we get off. Oh, we're here at the Trenton Transportation Center. Next, we're going to be riding on the New Jersey Transit River Line. This train of DMUs down to the Pennsauken Transportation Center. We'll be following the right-of-way of the old Pennsylvania Railroad Bordentown Secondary, the former Camden and Amboy. This service has started, the River Line, back in 2004. This is the first time I've ridden this in at least 10 years. All right, we're departing Trenton on the River Line. Ride to Pennsauken should take about 40 minutes. And here we go over the Northeast Corridor, which is presently having some difficulties. I was told there were some wires down in Philadelphia affecting Amtrak, but not SEPTA. And we're moving right along now, out in the woods, not too far from Bordentown. On this car sounds like a elementary school kid tuning his trumpet. Yep, 2 tracks non-electrified. It's 1 track in spots. Goes through some rather scenic territory. So we're approaching Cass Street Station. Not Cass Strait, but Cass Street. Yeah, the sun angle is going from one side to the other, so I'm going from one side to the other. The operator thinks I'm probably losing my mind. Now we've entered single track here. As we consider to continue down very sylvan trackage. You can see it. Out in the sticks here. I have recordings at home of Pennsylvania Railroad steam operating on this line between Camden and Trenton. Generally used 460s, K4s, 462s. Use some 442s also. Oh, this is pretty. Look at this. Yeah, they do freight business on this line, served by shared assets. Freights run primarily at night when the light rail is not running. Trumpet, kid. Tune that trumpet. Well, if you use that trumpet for reveille in the military, I don't think people would wake up hearing that. I've forgotten how scenic this line is. Station. Back there a ways you saw a river. Well, that was the mighty Delaware River, and the real estate on the other side was Pennsylvania. We've receded away from it, but we pretty much parallel it closely all the way down to Camden. Unusual for a light rail system to have, well, I guess it's not that unusual to have bells. Other cities have bells. We just passed the old depot building at Florence, New Jersey. Missed it. We're right near where the New Jersey Turnpike portion goes over the railroad that connects with the Pennsylvania Turnpike. That's it right there. One of the more interesting parts of this line is Burlington, New Jersey. The tracks run right down the middle of the street here. Sort of like Ashland, Virginia on CSX, the old RF&B. And some neat old structures here too. Yeah, it's just one track right down the heart of the street. Broad Street. Downtown.
This stop, Burlington Town Center.
Burlington Town Center. Very much so.
Press green button to exit train.
Very historic structures. St. Mary's Episcopal Church. Beautiful structure. Very nice structures here. One of these stops further down, there's an old watch factory. It's a very historic building. I think it's a watch factory. There's the old train station for Burlington. I believe that's the bridge going over the
Burlington South Park Ride Station.
I'm trying to remember which bridge that was. Burlington South.
Press green button to exit train.
Yeah, that bridge you saw was the Burlington-Bristol Bridge. Heads over to Bristol, Pennsylvania. Just prior to Burlington, we passed a yard which had considerable freight business on it. I saw an NS and a CSX painted Jeep there. This line is very busy with local freights at night. Yeah, this line is protected by color light signals. It's a lot like a regular railroad, even though it's sort of like a rapid transit. Sort of like in between a commuter railroad and a rapid transit railroad. That's it. I wonder if the engineer can play trumpet tune. And as we leave the Delanco station, we pass over Rancocas Creek, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, on a truss bridge. We'll be meeting an opposing train there too. He just crossed the bridge. Here it is. Empties out into the Delaware River. Look at this old structure. Riverside. This is like the signature building on this line. I don't know, I think it was a watch factory. I could be wrong, but yep, watch case office complex. We have a trumpet fanfare while departing to salute that building. Ha ha. Sounds more like taps. Well, this line serves a dual function. I mean, well, in addition to the Trenton to Philadelphia SEPTA route, this New Jersey Transit route also serves the Trenton to Philadelphia area, but on the Jersey side, not the Pennsylvania side. And it makes a convenient connection downtown Camden for Patco trains into Philadelphia. And we're now in Palmyra, New Jersey. There's a bridge from here to the Pennsylvania side at Tacony, the Tacony-Palmyra Bridge. I believe it's called the Commodore Barry Bridge. River's not too far away from here. That horn will intimidate nobody. Why not have a trombone horn on this instead of a trumpet horn? It would sound more authoritative. That was my old instrument. Nice residential area here. Not too far from Pennsauken. Close to my stop, the Pennsauken Transportation Center, as we pass by this lake. I'm sure the next stop is where I get off. And we stopped just short of Pennsauken Transportation Center at the end of double track as we wait for an opposing Trenton-bound movement. He's coming now. The bridge we're passing under is the approach to the Betsy Ross Bridge over the Delaware. It's a colossal bridge. these off to Camden. Weird sound. They sound like Greyhound buses. And up there is the station for the Atlantic City line service. For some strange, misguided reason, when they built this river line back in 2004, some reason they neglected to build a station to connect with this important New Jersey Transit passenger route. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. But 5 years later, they decided to build it. Yeah, there are sometimes rare occasions where New Jersey Transit makes mistakes. So here we are at the Pennsauken station portion on the Atlantic City line, looking west towards Philadelphia. In the background, that dark structure you see is the Delaware Bridge over the Delaware River. That highway bridge in the background is the Betsy Ross Bridge over the Delaware. You can see the Philadelphia skyline in the distance. Got a freight train coming out of Pavonia Yard in Camden. It's like a CSX train. You'll see him entering the line into Philadelphia up ahead. Comes a Trenton bound River Line train at 11:15. Nice colorful consist. Gotta hear that trumpet fanfare again. Should be meeting a Camden-bound train shortly. When I get home, I'm going to download some trumpet melodies on Apple Music. Those are playing Sweet Sounds of Trumpet Lullaby by Leroy Anderson, guaranteed to put me to sleep. Hey, we're on train 4623, waiting to meet 4620 from Atlantic City to Philadelphia before we depart. Past Haddonfield, picking up speed. We're paralleling the Patco line as far as Lindenwold, which is on the right side. This is cab car 6050, and we got an ALP 45 DP shoving on the rear, although this line is mostly inhabited by Jeeps. Hopefully the trip back to Philadelphia will have a Jeep. We're departing Lindenwold, New Jersey. This is the terminal for the Patco Rapid Transit, which we paralleled since Haddonfield. This was also the termination point of the PRSL commuter operation from Atlantic City and Wildwood and Cape May until 1981. And and it was devoid of passenger service east of Lindenwold until 1989 when the Atlantic City service was revived with Amtrak and New Jersey Transit. There's the Patco yard. Our next stop is Atco. Siding here is Lucas. There are a number of sidings that mainly meet the passenger trains. That horn sounds sick. If its intent is to warn motorists, I think what it might do is arouse the local ambulance company thinking there's somebody very ill. This area is Berlin, New Jersey. Okay, we left Atco a little while ago, and our next stop is Hamilton, going through pretty much the Pine Barrens of central New Jersey. And they can run 80 miles an hour on this section of track. Along on the old PRSL, Pennsylvania Reading Seashore Lines, jointly owned by the Pennsylvania Railroad and the Reading Company. It was revived in 1989 with Amtrak service from a number of points to Atlantic City, but bad marketing, bad advertising doomed the service 5 years later. And in the early 2000s, like 2009, they started the Atlantic City Express service, which ran from New York to Atlantic City. That ran for several years and that was dropped. just passed Winslow Tower, and we went over the old Central Railroad of New Jersey, which ran from Red Bank down to Bridgeton, New Jersey. That was the route of the old Blue Comet from New York. Train's been gone since the early 1940s. Winslow is also the junction for PRSL lines that headed down towards Wildwood and Cape May. Approaching Hamilton. The Blue Comet, the ultimate train between New York and Atlantic City. Started right before the Great Depression, ended in the early 1940s. Beautiful train, painted blue, locomotives and cars. The finest way to travel. The Blue Comet was made noteworthy in one of the last episodes of The Sopranos, when one of the fellas went into what was train land in Lynbrook, Long Island. He was looking to buy the Blue Comet Lionel set. He was a train buff. I forget the name of the character, but some guys came into the store and rubbed them out with machine guns. Station. Lots of crossings. Hey, arriving Hamilton. This town is made famous as it's the birthplace of Dr. Jill Biden, our inspiring, effervescent First Lady. Brilliant woman. All right, leaving Hamilton, the next stop is Egg Harbor. Jill Biden always referred to herself as a Philly gal. Well, she grew up in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philly, but she was born right here. This railroad closely parallels U.S. Highway 30, otherwise known as the Lincoln Highway, which goes and ends in Atlantic City. From here to Egg Harbor, we go through some really remote country, heavy-duty pine barrens. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing out here. Go through a lot of this, but as you approach Atlantic City after you leave Pennsauken, it looks like you're about to enter the Emerald City that was made famous in the Wizard of Oz movie. All these big casino buildings just pop up out on the marshes. It's a spectacular sight as you come in. And I definitely will get that for you. There's not much to see here. Passing another siding as we approach Pennsauken. I'm sorry, Egg Harbor City. These are fairly long sidings for the short trains that run on it. They're more like a short section of double track. Interlocking was South Leaker. The other end of the siding was North Leaker. Coming into Egg Harbor City. Sure, a lot of these people are casino workers. Okay, departing Egg Harbor City. Next stop is Pennsauken. As we get closer to Pennsauken, we'll be near Atlantic City International Airport. And that's a location that made my father have a hate affair with former Yankee third baseman Clete Boyer. My father was a student pilot, and he was doing a cross-country flight from Zons Airport, which was in like North Lindenhurst. That airport is gone now, but he flew out of Zons Airport on a cross-country flight to Atlantic City. And he was all set to land at Atlantic City. He was all lined up, and the tower got on the radio and said, "Attention all traffic, I got Clete Boyer coming in. Clear the airport." And Clete Boyer's plane came right in, rushed in alongside of him and cut my father off. My God, he was furious. You know, he was really furious. He thought he was going to crash. He just cut him right off. So ever since then, my father's hated Clete Boyer. Whenever Clete Boyer came to bat and he was watching a Yankee game, he would always change the channel. No love lost. Yeah, we're near Pomona, New Jersey, and we should be meeting New Jersey Transit train 4624 around here. I believe the siding is Pomo. North Pomo and South Pomo. Right around here, we're skirting the north end of my father's beloved Atlantic City Airport. There's North Pomo. And there it is. And he's got a Jeep. I'm told that ALP 45 DPs on the Atlantic City line are extremely rare. Aren't I lucky to have one of them? The line that's mostly happily infested with Jeeps. South Pomo. Soon we'll arrive in Pennsauken. Yeah, they don't waste any time on this line. They really roll. No wonder. The track is straight as an arrow for the most part. From like Atco all the way to Pennsauken. All right, we're slowing down for Pennsauken. On the front steps of Atlantic City now. The best part of the whole ride is from here to Atlantic City. Get to see the marshes with the casinos rising majestically above them. Alright, take a look at that. I haven't been down here on the train since 2009. I rode one of the Atlantic City Express service trains. Great day to be at the beach. Since my last visit. I've been to Atlantic City since 2009, but not by train. Came down with family back in 2014. It may not be the Blue Comet, but you can still ride from New York to Atlantic City by train. 3 trains, I might add. This is a great way to get to Atlantic City from Philadelphia. You've ever tried to drive on the Atlantic City Expressway from Philly to here in the summertime? Forget about it. Yeah, we'll walk on the boardwalk, have a nice lunch, maybe do a little gambling before I catch the train back to Philadelphia just before 5 o'clock. I'll be here a little over 4 hours. Can't complain about the weather. It's been hot and humid as hell lately, but today is nice and dry. And before we arrive at the station, we'll be crossing over the inlet. Feel like I'm coming into Long Beach on the Long Island Railroad. Imagine if they had casino gambling in Long Beach. Oh boy. It's really a shame that Amtrak couldn't make a go of it here. With the Atlantic City casino market, you'd think the sky would be the limit, but it just wasn't marketed properly. If they just had superb marketing of this service, this line would be humming with activity. Arriving at Atlantic City Station. This is right on the edge of town, just a short walk to the boardwalk. It's 12:41, we're right on schedule.